season has played out so far, Baltimore looks very beatable. I mean, look what's going on right now with them against Miami. The last I checked, it was 6-3 Miami in that game. Not the greatest game to watch, sort of like Jacksonville-Buffalo over the weekend. Kansas City has certainly not lived up to expectation. Tennessee now dealing with the injury of Derrick Henry. So some of these games that seemed so difficult and almost unwinnable for the Steelers are becoming a bit more into perspective, games that they can win and games that they maybe should against some of these opponents that have fallen back in the rankings a little bit since the season has started.
Yeah, and you never know about how it's going to go in the NFL because, as you mentioned, things change. Derrick Henry is out. I'm not believing in Tennessee, even though I thought they played very well against the Rams. I didn't expect them to go there without him and win. But I think ultimately the fact that Tannehill's going to have to become the man, the leader, they're not going to have to rely on Henry. They don't have Henry as a focal point, and I think sooner or later it's going to take a toll on Ryan Tannehill. However, the Steelers still have to play them, and without him, that gives them an opportunity. And so there's a lot of different stuff going into the rest of the season. You're absolutely right on that. But Ben Roethlisberger, are you concerned at all? He didn't practice again for the second straight day. And I know Wednesday never practices, but Thursday normally does. He did not. Any concerns?
Yeah, I'm encouraged by the sentiment that he is still expected to play on Sunday, but 2 straight days of no practice with the list of his injuries seemingly continuing to grow week after week, or at least it seems like there's another body part on the injury report for him week after week. It is concerning, maybe not for this weekend, as I said, the sentiment is that he will play on Sunday, but the longevity of this season, it's a long season, as we all know, a longer season than we're used to at that, and so I hope Ben Roethlisberger can maintain his health. They've already had the bye week, so these injuries are concerning to me, maybe not so much for this weekend, but for the rest of the season, Bob. Can he make it through the rest of the year healthy and able to continue to move this offense?
And not just him, but also Chase Claypool could be out several weeks now with his toe injury. Hopefully it's nothing significant. They already lost Juju Smith-Schuster. As much as I didn't want to see them get Odell Beckham Jr., they could certainly use some help in that regard, Shelby, because now it's Deontay Johnson, James Washington, and Ray McLeod, and that's it. And you can add the tight ends to it, and thankfully they're developing. But I still think they need some help on the outside with these 2 injuries, don't you?
Absolutely, and I know Odell Beckham Jr. was a name that kind of floated out there locally as someone that could land with the Steelers, especially because the Steelers have the cap space to add that $7.25 million hit that OBJ was going to give to the team he went to if he were picked up off of waivers. But obviously it's not a match here. I don't think the Steelers want another diva wide receiver to have to deal with. They want the production, which honestly hasn't been that great, and they certainly don't want the person. But Bob, you're absolutely right. The Claypool injury is so concerning, especially considering the unique ability he brings to reach up and get jump balls over defensive backs. Now they might be missing that for the long term, and you have only the select few receivers, only Deontay Johnson really being the one who has performed well enough to be the top receiver on this team. It's concerning. And so if you have Ben Roethlisberger, who isn't feeling his greatest, you have a depleted receiving core. Hopefully with Band-Aids and duct tape and bobby pins, this offense can cross the finish line and be productive as possible while they do that.
And rely heavily on the run game, which is something they've done a lot of the last 4 games, going over 30 attempts in each of these. So we'll see. We got to take a break here, Shelby. We'll come back with more. It's 412-575-2600 on a busy night in Pittsburgh sports. Back with more right here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.